Greetings, Bears fans. In today's video, I bring a lot of news, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'm dealing with a slight discomfort in my voice and a sore throat, but I decided to continue with the video. Today, we will analyze the Bears Draft Simulation, version 14.00. In this 7-round mock draft, I'm taking a different approach. I'm going to trade all of the team's current picks. This means that for every selection shown on the screen, I won't make a pick with that specific selection. For example, with the 10th overall pick, I'll opt to trade up or down, and the same applies to picks 39, 41, and so on. However, it's not necessary for me to make a trade every time I'm called, because some transactions may affect future picks whenever it makes sense. For instance, I may trade the 148th pick at the same time I discuss the 39th pick. So even though I won't be making 7 separate trades, I'll effectively be trading all those 7 picks through the transactions I make today. I decided to move back from the 10th pick. I considered moving up, but in the end, I'll trade down with the Indianapolis Colts. In this deal, I'll receive picks 14, 80, and an extra 3rd round pick after moving down 4 spots. I think this is a good moment for a trade. In past years, I could have received a day 3 pick in this situation, but I don't expect that this year. So I gained an additional 3rd round pick by moving back from the 10th to the 14th. With the 14th pick, I choose Mike Williams, the pass rusher from the University of Georgia. He was a player that really excited me at the beginning of the draft process. Although my interest hasn't completely disappeared, his performance in the testing didn't meet my expectations. However, I've revised my assessment of him. I really like this athlete and consider him one of the 15 best prospects in this draft. In my view, he has really high potential. He's already an exceptional run defender and registered 5 sacks last year, despite dealing with a significant ankle sprain. I value his competitive character and resilience, and he's only 20 years old, turning 21 in July. If he reaches his true potential after his rookie contract, he'll be only 24 years old, while other players in this draft will already be that age. Therefore, I believe that in trading down, Mike Williams represents good value at the 10th spot. In certain scenarios, this would be quite favorable. I wouldn't be as excited depending on who was available, but getting a 3rd round pick and selecting him at 14th overall is interesting. I prefer him over Shamar Stewart. He fits what the team is looking for. He's tall, strong, and athletic. So at the 14th pick, my choice is Michael Williams. I'm happy with this option. Now let's move on to another trade. I'm moving up in the draft. First, I trade down in the 1st round, and then I move back up in the same round. I'll manage to acquire the 26th pick from a team that has only 2 picks in the first 3 rounds, the 26th and 90th. They're looking to increase their capital here. I send picks 39 and 72 to that team. Again, I'm using 2 of the original picks in this transaction. So with the 26th pick, I move up to grab Josh Connerly Jr. We recently did a live simulation for those who were participating. Connerly fell to us at the 39th pick. I don't think that's very likely. In fact, I'm not convinced he'll make it to the 26th pick. He's one of my top 3 offensive line players in this draft, only behind Will Campbell and Armand Mimu. There's a possibility that Josh Connerly will be considered the best left tackle in this draft. I believe he's still developing. I thought he performed excellently at the Senior Bowl. His arm measurements are long, around 34.5 inches, which makes him more suited than Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks. I prefer Connerly over. Banks is a pure left tackle. One might argue that Banks' versatility is more valuable, but he was already off the board by this point. At his age, his value is significant, so I decide to trade up and select Connerly. I also send a 3rd round pick in this process. If you're excited about the NFL draft, enjoy today's video as it's approaching fast. Now, I need to drink some water because my throat is dry. Shifting gears a bit to the Rams, if you're excited about the NFL draft, it's almost time, my friend. In less than a week, discussions will emerge about what truly matters, so feel free to show your excitement. Alright, I need to hydrate. My throat is really feeling the weight of this here. Alright, I'm going to trade again since there's no pick of 41. So I trade picks 41 and 148 with the Broncos. We drop 10 positions and grab picks 51 and 85. We drop 10 spots, get a third-round pick, and give up a fifth. This move will likely happen on draft night because, again, in this range of picks, the players have a similar level. Then I get Mason Taylor, the tight end from LSU. I'm not sure if he'll still be available. Just like Connerly, it's a matter of uncertainty. However, it's not absurd. He's considered a player between 40 and 45, so 51 is not completely out of the question. He's emerging as the third tight end in this draft, behind Tyler Warren and Culliston Loveland, being well-rounded, a strong blocker, and with good hands. While he's not a huge runner after the catch, he offers reliability. Capable of running routes as a tight end, he could take on a prominent role as your second guy. Durham Smythe could drop back, occupying the third position, which would significantly improve the tight end room compared to the current situation. The KT Taylor-Smythe group would be much superior to what we've seen in recent years. Therefore, there's a strong preference for Mason Taylor in the second round. The interest increases if there's a 10-position trade to select him at 51 instead of 39 or 41. It's believed that he's ranked around 33, 34 on the big board. Getting him 15 to 20 picks later is an amazing value. The preference for Mason Taylor in the second round is clear. The first round might be considered too high for him. Some may think differently. However, it's not recommended to take him in the first round. In the second, he's definitely worth it. Also, it's valuable to have a personal finance app that can help save money. A little more funds in the accounts would benefit everyone. This app is designed to help identify and cancel unwanted subscriptions, track spending, and reduce bills, all aimed at increasing savings. Having a larger sum to manage finances more effectively would definitely be advantageous, and that's where Rocket Money comes in. This personal finance app helps identify and cancel subscriptions that are no longer desired, track expenses, and negotiate bills for lower prices, thus increasing savings. Expenses tend to add up quickly, like that daily coffee from a favorite, cafe, or several subscriptions recommended by friends for shows that end up not being watched, resulting in monthly charges ranging from $10 to $20. Rocket Money stands out by providing a clear overview of where your money is going. Discovering multiple subscriptions that are being paid for is common, and paying for an online newspaper that hasn't been read in months can happen. Canceling any of these subscriptions can be done with just a few taps, as Rocket Money acts as an intermediary. This means you don't have to deal with the hassle of customer service interactions. Alerts are sent if any bill sees a price increase, which is definitely useful information. The trend of rates unexpectedly rising is well known. If that happens, other options can be considered. Also, bills can be sent to Rocket Money, which will try to secure better prices, potentially reducing cost by up to 20%, which would be impressive. Considering this on multiple accounts, the monthly savings can be significant, possibly reaching hundreds of dollars. Rocket Money can be found at rocketmoney.com bears. With over 5 million users, they've collectively saved $500 million by canceling unwanted subscriptions, with members saving up to $740 annually by using all the app's features. For more information, visiting rocketmoney.com bears is recommended. Now, shifting focus to RJ Harvey, who hasn't received the attention he deserves. In my view, he's my favorite running back after the top 5. His productivity over the last 2 years has been impressive, accumulating around 3,000 rushing yards and a total of 42 touchdowns. He was a key part of UCF's offense in recent seasons. We haven't talked much about a specific player, and maybe that's a missed opportunity, as he's undoubtedly my favorite running back after the top 5. Over the last 2 years, his productivity has been impressive, with around 3,000 rushing yards and a total of 42 touchdowns, making him a central figure in the offense during that period. His build resembles that of a bowling ball, but his agility is remarkable. Standing about 5'9" or 5'10", his legs are as sturdy as tree trunks. He can avoid defenders in the open field and overcome opponents physically. Furthermore, I see that he has untapped potential as a receiver. When the ball is thrown his way, the results are exciting. Though these opportunities have been scarce, he ranks among my favorite running backs right after the top 5. One aspect to consider is that he's about to begin his 6th year in college, making him a bit more experienced. However, when evaluating running backs, I pay more attention to their usage than their age. He's accumulated less than 600 career carries, which suggests his durability is still high. I believe he has the ability to step onto the field and perform immediately, or at least contribute as a supporting player. Regarding a draft prospect, there's a player ranked 85 overall. Although some trades have already occurred, it's evident that none of them involve the original picks. This athlete has been underrated, as I observed in a deeper analysis of his abilities. He's turning out to be a better athlete than I initially thought, having clocked a 4.52 in his 40-yard dash. His performance in down plays is solid, but occasionally he gets lost in the backfield, especially when he loses focus during the action. However, he stands out as a solid tackler and could be effective as a blitzer if needed. I believe he's efficient against runs and capable of making coverage plays. Recently, the team renewed the contract of a linebacker, ensuring his presence for a few more seasons, but the situation of another player is uncertain. If he doesn't have a solid season, it's likely the team will seek alternatives. Looking to the future, which I believe is in the plans, drafting a linebacker seems viable. In the third round, and if they can get a fourth pick via trade, that possibility should also be considered. However, opting for this player in the third round seems like the most sensible choice. So I would rank him 85 overall. If they're planning this, as I believe they are, then selecting a linebacker is really on the table. In the third round, if they get a fourth pick, it could be discussed. However, I think the third round is the right time to select him. A healthcare professional mentioned that if we get more subscribers, my voice could return to normal. I would really appreciate that. We have videos every day. The draft is coming up and I need my voice for it. Now I'll make my 7th round picks, as I need to trade both to move back to the 6th. Instead of picking 2 players, I'll pick just one. This player is a wide receiver who had an excellent performance, standing 6.4. He ran a 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds, which is considerable speed for his size. He caught passes frequently, averaging nearly 15 yards per reception. I'm really excited, especially as we near the end of day 3. Another receiver had a standout performance, but I prefer this one, as I see he has a higher potential for big plays. He only registered 1 touchdown, but I envision a scenario where he can evolve and become an important contributor. Here we have a draft simulation where I made trades with all the original picks. I end up with 6 players instead of 7. One at 14th, another at 26th, both first-round picks. Also, one at 51st, a second-round pick, and others in the third round at 80 and 85. Finally, another player at 215th. Evaluate the draft simulation from A to F. Share with us how we did, and don't forget to subscribe, as we'll have more content soon. I hope that in the next video, my voice will be in better condition. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a stunning turn of events, Nick Bosa, the cornerstone of the San Francisco 49ers defense, has signed with the Chicago Bears, marking a significant shift in the NFL's defensive landscape. This move comes just over a year after Bosa inked a record-breaking 5-year, $170 million contract with the 49ers, making him the highest-paid defensive player in league history at the time. Bosa's departure leaves a considerable void in San Francisco's defensive line, which has already seen the exits of key players like Leonard Floyd, Javon Hargrave, and Malik Collins this offseason, cite a Turn No News 12. The 49ers, once renowned for their formidable front four, now face the challenge of rebuilding a defense that was instrumental in their 2019 Super Bowl run. For the Bears, acquiring Bosa is a significant coup. His presence is expected to bolster a defense that has struggled to generate consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Bosa's track record speaks for itself. A league-high 18.5 sacks in 2022 and a total of 44.5 sacks from 2021 to 2023. His ability to disrupt offenses and command double teams will undoubtedly elevate Chicago's defensive unit. The move also raises questions about the 49ers' strategy and financial decisions. Despite their investment in Bosa, the team has opted to part ways with several high-profile defenders, signaling a potential shift towards a younger, more cost-effective roster. With 11 picks in the upcoming draft, including the 11th overall, San Francisco appears poised to rebuild through youth. Though their recent draft history has been mixed, Bosa's transition to the Bears not only alters the dynamics of both teams, but also reshapes the competitive landscape of the NFC. As Chicago aims to return to playoff contention, Bosa's impact could be the catalyst they need. Meanwhile, the 49ers must navigate a period of transition, hoping their draft investments will pay dividends in the seasons to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.